Hello, my dear ones. Today we are going to talk about what to do with this feeling that time has supposedly sped up. But has time sped up? I get this question very often. I am sitting here now on a cool summer evening. The birds are singing and they are singing so beautifully. On some plants, the leaves are barely moving. And honestly, I do not feel at all that time has sped up. Has time sped up? Everyone talks about it. I have mentioned this topic before too, but only briefly. Some esoteric teachers and psychologists sometimes miss certain nuances. They simply say, well, time has sped up, and leave it at that. But in reality, the question is not about time itself. If you take a clock right now and begin to align yourself with the flow of seconds, counting 1, 2, 3, following the rhythm of the seconds, then, if you have ever done this earlier in your life, you will understand that everything is actually moving in the same way. If you start listening to your breathing, to the rhythm of your breath, it will be more or less the same as always. If you start listening to your pulse, it will also be more or less the same as always. What does it mean when we say that time has sped up? Has time itself sped up? You feel as if it has. And how do you feel it? You say, before I used to manage to do so much, and now I manage to do so little. I have even heard some astrologers quite seriously claim that there are no longer 24 hours in a day, not even 12, but almost 6, and that it is all some global conspiracy and we are all being deceived. But nature does not create global conspiracies. Mother Nature does nothing of the kind. What has actually sped up? Let us not step onto Mother Nature's territory. If something truly needs to be sped up, slowed down, or if the laws of this universe need to be changed, then, of course, that will happen if she decides so by the will of the Creator. Let us instead think about what is happening to us. If there are still 60 seconds in a minute, and if those seconds move with the same rhythm as before, then what is happening? Why do we manage to do so little? Why do we constantly feel chased and driven? Let us say we, conditionally. It is not always like that for me. When I enter a normal state, I do not experience this feeling at all, as I do not experience it right now. Although sometimes I too feel that I manage to do less than before if I have done something to create that state. And what does Anuko do to create that state when she also starts managing a little less or even much less than before on certain days? The same thing you do. It means I have lost time. I have stepped out of the rhythm in which nature gave birth to me. I have stopped contemplating the world. On that day, I stopped carefully observing my life and becoming aware of it. Instead, I get up and, for example, I get pulled into some news feed or into the news. Then a discussion starts with my family, then something else, and then somewhere else, and another thing, and another, and another. And there it is. I have lost time. I have lost an hour or 2 hours in total during the day. That is enough. I have already managed to do much less. And the feeling that I am not keeping up pulls me into this anxious rhythm. Hurry, hurry, hurry. No. Be like I am right now, here, where I am not watching the news online, but observing how the leaves sometimes move in the wind, how the birds sing, how evening comes. Believe me, I do not feel that time has sped up. So where do we lose all this time that has been given to us for our life, for our happiness, for our learning of love here? We lose it when we ourselves enter that rushing current. The main reason is that there is simply too much information, and we do not notice how. Instead of living, we begin to consume information endlessly, one piece after another. How much time, on average, do you spend scrolling? To be honest, I do not spend time scrolling at all. Sometimes I ask my husband about the news, but otherwise I simply do not have time. I need to film many videos, finish my book, give attention to my family and my garden, and conduct consultations. I truly have no time for that. In this sense, I am lucky. I have my husband. But even when I ask him, we can get stuck discussing something, and the time is already lost. And in general, of course, I observe this kind of worldwide tragedy. People walking around with their phones, constantly moving their fingers across the screen, constantly scrolling there. They even sit down in a cafe and, by the way, completely violate all the rules of protocol, placing the phone on the table and continuing to scroll while they eat. Although, in fact, having a phone on the table is a terrible violation of social and dining protocol. But they cannot stop anymore. They are dependent on it. They need to watch. They chew and they scroll and they read. They talk and somehow manage to scroll and read at the same time while speaking to each other. Recently, we were at the springs here at a resort and we watched how people communicated. A family was sitting below our window. They were talking to each other and at the same time, every one of them was scrolling something on their phone. What do you think? Will they truly feel that vacation in the same sensations in which I feel myself right now in the garden? It will seem to them that the 1 or 2 weeks they came to rest simply flew by. They have no time to feel time. Do you understand? Because they are scrolling, they are in the news, they are constantly absorbing all of this. That is the main reason. The main reason is that people have started rushing. They have merged into a stream of completely unnecessary information, into a stream where they consume it very quickly and unconsciously. And in that stream, it feels as if time simply flies past them. So, what should we do? Slow down. Remember your true rhythm, the rhythm that nature placed within you. How does your pulse beat? How do you breathe? How many seconds are truly in a minute? And how does the melody of that minute actually unfold? And take in less and less unnecessary information. Each time, ask yourself, what do I want to receive here for myself right now? What benefit am I trying to take from this? Of course, we need to follow the news and we need to learn. The internet and artificial intelligence are enormous opportunities for learning, for becoming wiser. They can even help us understand more deeply how to enter the rhythm of nature and her laws, instead of rushing somewhere in the stream of time without knowing where we are going. To begin, start observing your breathing. This practice already exists. Start counting time, counting the seconds in a minute. Simply enter that rhythm. Set a timer for 1 minute and count. 1, 2. Try to count up to 60, staying in the rhythm. In this way, you will remember again how time actually flows. That alone will already be enough. And later I will give you more meditations and practices. Write to me if this is interesting for you, so that you can truly stop this unpleasant state when you are rushing completely past your own life. This is what I wanted to talk about with you today, here in my quiet, peaceful garden, which is not rushing anywhere, where time has not sped up at all, and to give you its energy and these thoughts. New videos in the Psychology by the Fireplace series come out on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Pacific time. And I love you. Bye bye.